god, I literally could cry. I can't believe I knitted this. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle, and today we've got something pretty fun and exciting to accomplish, or try to accomplish. I'm going to be knitting my very first top. As a crocheter, knitting can be pretty daunting. It's been something that I've been wanting to learn for a while now, and I just haven't gotten around to it. So I have actually made a few beanies just to practice the stitches, but I've never made an actual piece of clothing. So this is going to be the first time, and I thought it would be fun to take you guys along for the journey, just to document any of the difficulties I might run into or any tips that I might have for crocheters learning how to knit. So the top that I'm going to be knitting is the mohair boat neck top. It's a free YouTube tutorial, which is going to be really useful because I don't think I am capable of reading knitting patterns just yet. So having like visual aid to learn how to knit is definitely something that I need. There's a long sleeve version, and there's also a short sleeve version, which is great because one, it is actually getting a lot warmer recently, and two, I don't have enough yarn to make the long sleeve version. So she used 1.5 balls of mohair for the short sleeve version, and I have 2 balls of this green mohair. I think this is such a cute color going into spring and summer. So yeah, hopefully this is enough yarn for the top. And I don't know if I'm making a big mistake using mohair to knit my very first garment, because I know crocheting with mohair is like not the easiest thing. And also if you make a mistake, frogging mohair is just a nightmare. Let's see how it goes with the mohair. Hopefully this is not some foreshadowing moment where I've just made a terrible mistake, but let's watch the YouTube video and I'll update you guys after a few rows. Okay, so the first step is actually to make a gauge swatch, which I should probably do since it's a garment, and I don't actually know what my knitting tension is, but I suspect that it's quite tight because I crochet quite tight. The pattern calls for 4.5mm needles. I'm going to be doing the gauge swatch in this color mohair because I don't want to use this one just in case I don't have enough yarn. They are from the exact same brand, so they should be the same thickness. So yeah. Just letting you guys know why the swatch is brown. This might take me all day as it is.
2 hours later.
I think my mohair is quite a bit thinner than hers. It's quite like meshy. Like there's quite a lot of holes. And the gauge says 12 stitches. And I've cast on 20. And it's still less than 10 centimeters on the needles. Maybe once it's off, it's gonna be a little more stretched out. I'm already second guessing myself, and I don't really want to go up a needle size because then the holes will be even bigger. And if I double up my green yarn, then I think I won't have enough to do the whole top. So now I'm thinking if I should like double up the yarn with another color. Yeah, let's just finish a few more rows of this and then we'll see. Okay, change of plans. I did a little bit of the swatch. I didn't do the full 40 rows, but I can already tell that this yarn is way too thin. It took me 20 stitches across to get 10 centimeters, and it's very, very meshy, very, very holey. I do have another brand of mohair in this gray color, which is slightly thicker. And I actually have 5 balls of this mohair, whereas this green I only had 2, so I could only do the short sleeve version. But since I have 5 of these, I could do the long sleeve in this color. I'm gonna do a new swatch in this gray color to see if it meets the gauge better. But first I'm gonna go have some lunch because that gauge swatch literally took me like over an hour and I don't think I have it in me to make another square at the moment. I just did a tiny little swatch in this gray mohair. It wasn't really what I was going for. This mohair is like super fuzzy. I don't know if you can tell. This color, as well as like the fuzziness, is just very like winter vibes. So I guess I'm not going to be using this one. I probably should have swatched this before starting the video because it's now 2 o'clock and I started filming this at like 11:30, and all I have to show for that time is this little tiny holy swatch. I frogged this one, so yeah, I have nothing to show for that. My next plan is we're gonna go back to this green and instead I'm gonna double strand it so it's not as holy, and then go up 1 needle size, so a 5mm instead of a 4.5. So hopefully with 2 strands and a bigger hook I should be able to meet the gauge. Since I am doubling the strands, I am a little worried that I'm not gonna have enough yarn to do the whole entire top, but we shall see. Maybe it's gonna be a crop top, who knows. Latest update, I've just done like a little quarter swatch using double-stranded mohair. I just use 2 random colors so that I don't use up the green. I still need way too many stitches to meet the 10cm gauge, so I think I'm going to use 5.5mm needles. I'm going to start with that. Also, I just taught myself the German twist cast on, or the elastic cast on. It looked really complicated, but it's actually pretty simple. So I'm gonna start on the top now. I think it's okay that it takes me slightly more stitches to get to the 10cm because her measurements are slightly bigger than mine. So hopefully if I just stick to her measurements but using my slightly smaller gauge, then my top will be smaller and hopefully it will fit me better that way. I think that's correct logic. I'm not sure. You guys will never believe what I've just done. My tail was so long. I thought it was the yarn that was still attached to the ball, and I've been knitting with the tail instead of with the working yarn. How did I do that? This is a good start. Back with a little update. It's now 5:20. I've been at this all day and this is what I have to show for it. That's it. I've done 8 rounds. Yeah, I'm not really liking how it's looking. I think my tension is just like all over the place. I don't know if this is a trust the process kind of thing. I just don't really have faith in my knitting abilities to trust the process. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'm just gonna stop for a bit now, do something else. Okay, so it's day 2 now of working on this boat neck top, and I've just finished doing the yoke section, and this is what it looks like. The stitches are definitely looking better now that there's more fabric. It doesn't look as like messy. Nell's Knit did provide like a free PDF version of the pattern, so I've actually just been using that instead of the YouTube video because I found that the YouTube video is actually just the pattern written on top of her knitting. Like she doesn't actually like explain anything more than the written pattern does. So I've just been using the written pattern to like cross off which row I'm on. Spam call. Anyway, I was saying I've just been using the written pattern to like cross off the rows that I'm on. And now that I've finished the yoke section, I've just gone back to the YouTube video to see if she explains anything more in depth about the next section, which is where we're going to be splitting off to do the arms. And I've just seen in the video that the yoke section is supposed to be 14 centimeters long, and mine is like 16 or maybe even a little bit more, which is not ideal. I don't know who I thought I was trying to change up a pattern on my first knit garment, but yeah, so I think now I'm actually going to swap back to a 5mm needle instead of continuing on with the 5.5. Her measurements are bigger than mine, like on the chest section, so I think if I size down to a 5mm, it should still be okay. Like, I just don't want the top to be like super long. Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do. And this is how much yarn I have left at the moment. It does feel quite a bit smaller than when I first started, which is a bit worrying because I still have more than half of the top to do. So hopefully it will be enough, but yeah, I'll keep you guys posted. So I'm gonna split off for the arms now, which is something I obviously have never done before because I've just made a few beanies. So we'll see how that goes. And I probably will take a little break from knitting because I don't know why, but it actually really hurts my wrists so much more than crocheting does. I don't know if I hold the needles weirdly. I'll check in with you guys after we split off for the arms. So I'm supposed to put 24 stitches on some spare yarn and then cast on 12 stitches over the gap. I actually have no idea what any of that means. She doesn't talk over the video, so it's hard to like learn whilst she's doing it. It wasn't as daunting as I thought it was gonna be. Like, the words just didn't really make sense to me at first, but it makes sense now. Now I'm going to be working on the body. It just says to continue knitting in the round until you reach the biggest point of your chest. So I'm just going to be knitting in the round now for several rows, no more increases. And then we're going to be doing the underbust shaping. Yeah. So this is the yoke part. And then it splits off here, and then I've done a few rows of the body. I guess when I did the swatch, I didn't like stretch out the fabric as much, so there were way more stitches in the 10 centimeters than there are now. So I think I may have made a little mistake by going with the 5.5mm needles. Because when I do measure 10 centimeters, initially it was like 20 stitches or 18 stitches, but now after the fabric is stretched out a bit, it's 15 stitches, which is still actually more than her gauge swatch. So maybe we're gonna be okay because I do need it to be slightly smaller than hers. Also, like when it's on the cable, it's hard to tell how big it actually is. Because when I was knitting this yoke part, like obviously all the stitches were around the cable. So it's only now that I've done like quite a bit of it that I can see that it is actually like quite big. I'm currently debating whether or not to go on a run. It has started raining. So my options are go for a run in the rain or stay at home and knit. Let me show you guys what it looks like outside. So this is the view from my little crochet room. The past few months have been so nice and sunny, like clear blue skies and lots of sun in this room. It's not like pouring down, but it is like enough rain for it to be like not inviting. Maybe I'll go tomorrow. I'm gonna go work on my crochet pattern and maybe edit some videos and then have some dinner and continue knitting this while I watch TV. Good morning. It is day 3 of knitting my very first top. Scene change today. I'm about to go bake some bagels for lunch. So I'll just give you guys a few updates on where I am on the top so far. I did do a few rows whilst I was watching TV last night. So yeah, this is what it's looking like. It's quite far along and I have this much yarn left. So I think, fingers crossed, that this should be enough. But what I've found is that my row gauge is like way off the pattern. Her gauge was 40 rows is 10 centimeters. And for me, 25 rows is 10 centimeters. So if I were to follow her pattern exactly, my top would be very, very long. I'm on the underbust shaping section and there's supposed to be 27 rows in total for this section. I'm only on row 12 and it's already really long. I think I'm gonna have to start the waist section already. Yeah, I'm kind of just winging it a little bit at this point. So I think I'm just gonna go move on to that now, but since I'm missing quite a lot of rows from the underbust decreases, I'm gonna end up with more stitches than hers, but it's okay if it's a bit loose at the end of the day. Like, this is my first knit top, so my expectations for myself are pretty low. Like, if I can put it on and it somewhat resembles what the top is supposed to look like, I'm pretty happy. Like, I'm setting the bar like pretty low. But anyway, I think it looks quite cute. Remember, I changed my needle size from a 5.5 to a 5, and you can actually see the difference a little bit. Like, the holes are a little smaller in this section than that section, but I don't know if that's also because I've been like stretching this out a bit and like playing with it, that the yarn has like started to loosen up. It looked really small when I first started knitting this, and now it's like stretched out quite a lot. I think it's gonna be too big. Yeah, I haven't done a try on for you guys because I think with knitting you have to like put a scrap piece of yarn around the stitches to take the needles off so that you can try it on. And I just can't be bothered to do that. And even if it didn't fit at this point, I really don't think that I would redo it. I think I would just have to finish it at this size and give it away to someone that it fits. But I am pretty excited to finish it. And the weather is like still kind of cold enough to be wearing something this fluffy. I shall update you guys in a few more rows, but in the meantime, let's go make some bagels and then do some rows while we wait for the bagels to be ready. I have a little question. I have to hold this stitch with my middle finger, otherwise it just like falls off of the needle. But then when I come back with the working yarn, the needle seems to scratch this finger and it's actually starting to make my middle finger hurt a little bit. It's like constantly scratching with the point of the needle. I don't know how else to do it because I've tried like not putting my finger there and I just can't do it. Do you guys have any tips, or is that something that my finger is just going to get used to? Good afternoon. It is Monday once again. Day 4, I believe, of knitting my first top. I took a few days off from filming and knitting, so it is technically 1 week later, but my 4th day of working on the top. I did do a few rows off camera whilst watching TV, so it's pretty much the length that I want it to be, I think. Wow. This is where I'm at. And this is how much yarn I have left. So this is the length of the top now. I think this is where I'm gonna finish. I don't actually know how to bind this off, so we're gonna learn how to do that now. And then for the short sleeve version, you still have to do a few more rows on each side of the sleeves. And then I'm gonna try it on for you guys, and hopefully, fingers crossed, that it fits and that it looks cute. Also, I've already started like editing some of the footage from last week, and I'm so sorry for how bad the lighting is. This room usually gets like a lot of sun and it's nice and bright in the videos, but last week was super gloomy, so the footage is just really dark and like not nice. Even after I try to like edit the colors, it just doesn't look good. But yeah, I'm sorry that you guys had to sit through some pretty low quality, badly lit footage. Hopefully the lighting is okay today when I try this top on for you guys. And also, I will probably wear this out in the next few days, so I'll include some of those clips as well. Let's get knitting. Wait, why is this so hard? What the hell? Why can't I do this? This can't be right. Like, why am I struggling? Oh my god, I literally could cry. It all just comes off. I am not having fun. Oh my god, like with crochet, after your last stitch, you literally just chain one and cut off the yarn. What is this? Oh my god, my hands feel so unnatural. I understand the movements that I need to be doing, but like, it just doesn't want to do it. Okay, be right back. I think this is gonna take me an hour. Oh my god! The top is off the needles and it looks like a top. Oh my god. It took me about 20 minutes to do the rest of the bind off, which I guess is not too bad. I did not enjoy it one bit though. Yeah, that's just really not fun. But anyway, I'm super happy that the top is almost done. Guys, I made this. I knitted this. I don't even know if it's gonna fit me. The bottom, it looks really small, even though I think I should have a lot more stitches than she did because I did fewer rows, which means fewer decreases. But yeah, it's not quite done just yet. I still need to reattach the yarn to the sleeves somehow. I actually have no idea how I'm gonna do that. But first I'm gonna go make myself a coffee as a little reward for almost finishing the top, and then we'll come back and finish off the sleeves and then do a final try on. I'm so excited. Whilst I was having my coffee, I was quickly watching over the tutorial to see how she did the sleeves, and I am like not looking forward to doing it. It looks really hard, and I actually have no idea how she reattached the yarn back onto the piece, so I think I'm just gonna like make it up a little bit and hopefully it's okay. It seems like a lot of work for adding only like 3 to 5 more rows of the sleeves, because I have to reattach the yarn and then I have to bind off each sleeve, and I'm just like getting a little impatient. I just want to finish it already. I still have this much mohair left, which is quite surprising, but yeah, obviously not enough to do the long sleeves. Okay, so the first step is to put these stitches back onto a needle, the stitches that are on the scrap yarn, and then I need to reattach the yarn somehow to the piece and then cast on some more stitches. Let's get going and hopefully I can finish this within the hour. Here's the top after I finished the first sleeve. It does look much better after a few rows of the sleeve. Like the shaping without it is a little funny. It probably doesn't look like this on, but it definitely does look more like a t-shirt with a few more rows on the sleeve. There's this hole where I first started picking up the stitches. I don't know why or if I did something wrong. If you guys have any tips on how to not have this happen, I'll probably just like close the hole with this end here and just like... So I'll move on to doing the next sleeve now, and then the top is done. here it is. This has taken me several hours to bind off the bottom, do a few more rows on both sleeves, and then bind off both sleeves. I thought it was gonna be done much faster than this. The sun has gone now. I wanted to try it on while it was still bright outside, but oh well. But anyway, I can't believe my very first top is done. I still need to weave in the ends, but I'm a little impatient. I just want to try it on. So let's go and try it on. I'll be right back. Oh my gosh, you guys. I knitted this. I can't believe I knitted this. What? The color is so cute. I thought the yoke was going to be too big, but it is actually perfect. This fits me so well. I'm actually shocked considering I didn't follow the pattern like that well. The bottom is like curling a little bit. Maybe it needs to be blocked or I'll just go with it. I mean, it doesn't look bad with it curled. Yeah, I don't know. It's just super cute. The shape is so nice. It is a little more sheer than I would like it. Like it's quite see-through, but it's not a big deal. It's not that bad. The neckline is really cute. I don't think I'm gonna block it. I'm a little impatient. I just want to wear it tomorrow, I think. But yeah, overall, I am super happy with the way it looks. The stitches are still like quite messy. I feel like with the mohair and the meshy look that it doesn't really matter as much. Knitting is not as scary as I thought it was gonna be. I actually had a lot of fun making this and it only took me 4 days, which is not horrible. And I know at the beginning of the video I said I would give some tips for crocheters learning how to knit. I don't know who I thought I was saying that because I should be asking you guys for tips for my next project. Like the armpit holes, like how do you not get these holes? Like I have it in the front and the back. Overall, I had a great time making this top, and even though it was mohair, it wasn't as scary of an experience as I thought it was gonna be. There were times where I thought using mohair for my first garment was a mistake, and I probably don't recommend starting with mohair, to be honest, but if I can do it, then you guys can do it. I'm super excited to keep learning more knitting skills and making more knitted garments. It is getting quite warm now, so I guess the ship has sailed for making a sweater at this point of the year. So if you guys have any recommendations for cute summer tops to knit, I have a lot of cotton. Please leave them in the comments below. I would love to know what your favorite knitted tops are for this summer. I hope you guys enjoyed coming along with me as I knitted my very first top. If you guys have stayed and watched till this part of the video, I'm so grateful for you guys, and it would help me a lot if you guys liked this video, and if you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. I'll be making more crochet and fiber arts vlogs in the future. Hopefully there will be more knitting. I promise I will get better at filming these vlogs. I know the lighting was horrible, but yeah, that's all from me this time. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I shall see you next time. Bye!